The superstars of Fan Control Football Season 2.0 are not only the who's who of celebrity team owners and influencers, not the 21 million live views of our Emmy-nominated broadcast. Across Twitch, DAZN, Fubo, NBCLX, Peacock. Or our highlights that scored over 100 million views. And we can't forget best-in-class sponsors. But the biggest star of Season 2 is our play-calling app that allow fans to control the action on the field. Fans pick a team, pick a play, 4 run plays, 4 pass plays to choose from. The play with the most votes is called in real time.
We got it.
This is where video games and live action come to life. And now, Fan Control Sports and Entertainment brings you Fan Controlled Hoops, where fans call the shots. Coming 2023, the future of sports is here, and it's Fan Control. Power to the fans.
Are you ready for it?
All right, so for the fans, I just want y'all to know, like, first of all, welcome to Back to Work.
Back to work.
That Josh and I have before we go live is amazing. This is, I mean, obviously, hilarious.
I'm sorry. It's one of those inside jokes that no fans will get. Hi, Freddie Amrell. Great to see you. Welcome everybody to Back to Work. We're here. Hi, Ruthless Cutie. We're here every single Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific, unless there is a national holiday, which Leighton and I celebrated last week. It does feel like it's been a long time since we've been
Very
together,
long time.
right?
Long time. I've missed you.
Yeah, I've missed you terribly. We've done some like pre-recorded stuff, but it's nothing quite like a live show. It really isn't.
Yeah.
And we do. I was saying before we went live. I mean, the reason we were giggling is because I sent Leighton a voice text, and I don't know what it is. Yeah, I can't say anything. It's rude. But you know, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. But we need to make a new intro video because we have some incredible stuff we're announcing in the next 2 weeks, maybe to 3 weeks.
Do we have like a live countdown?
We should do like a live countdown till big announcements. There's a bunch of things going on behind the scenes, and I saw an article that was shared with our Twitter by something called Crypto Sports or something that's like FCF folding. And I was like,
I don't know what this narrative is. Like everyone's just written us off. Like,
yes.
It's like, no, we're still here. I don't know how many times like we're here. We just decided not to play this year.
Guys. And I've gotten texts from players who I've responded to immediately, and I love our players. And they're like, "Hey, sorry to hear about FCF." I was like, "There's nothing to sorry." Yes, it sucks that we did not play a season 3.0 at the same time we played last year. It does, but we've got a ton of stuff in the mix behind the scenes, and we want season 3.0 of football to really burn the place to the ground. Really. Yeah. And let's be honest. I'll say it straight up. I've said it on multiple shows. The USFL and the XFL did us no favors. They did zero favors.
No.
They lost hundreds of millions of dollars again.
Yeah.
Again.
And they're still trying to tell us that it's going to be successful moving forward. It's like, no.
Yeah. You guys, of all the people I talked to, they're like, yeah, I don't think I watched it. Right. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, why would you? They gave you nothing to watch it for. Right.
Yeah.
The NFL we're not trying. The FCF has never tried to compete with the NFL. Fan Controlled Hoops is not trying to compete with the NBA. We're trying to carve out our own place in the sports world. Yeah. And make it a place for the fans. The NFL doesn't care about you.
I just think fans need to understand we don't really have competition because no one's doing what we're doing. And I get it. When you see football, you automatically want to compare, or you see any sport, you're automatically going to compare to whatever is the top dog in that sport. But our concept is so different that we have room to figure ourselves out and say, okay, this is going to be the best thing, not only for our fans, but just for the sport. You know, like there's so much research that goes into it. We're here to stay. Stop writing us off. You know?
Yeah.
Freddie Amrell. Go ahead.
Freddie Amrell said people took that stuff from Sora out of context. Maybe he would have communicated it differently if he knew it had been taken this way. Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's weird. Maybe if you're reading it for somebody from the outside, you would probably take it that way. But if you are reading it from the inside, you're like, yeah, that's pretty much what's
Well, I mean, the reality is I think there is also a segment of the fan bases of these sports that don't want new things to survive. They kind of bank on the new things not surviving. So of course, the minute we say we're not doing something, we get it. We've given them their golden ticket to say what they want. But we're here to tell you, hey, we're here to stay. We're here.
Yeah.
So
also got to give a shout out to Ice Cube, who's been doing this thing what he calls the Gatekeepers Tour. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen it.
So, because he's saying that the NBA is trying to squash 3-on-3, ESPN won't air them, NBA TV won't air them. You know, none of the major gatekeepers, as he's calling them, will air them. And I was like, well, Ice, you can just create your own gate, but there's enough outlets. If you wanted to create your own gate, you could. Listen, if the CW was airing Live Golf, I'm sure you could find a channel that would air it.
Yeah,
that would air it. And I love Ice Cube. And I think personally, it should be fan controlled hoops and 3-on-3 merged together, and it could become one of the greatest basketball leagues of all time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm all for creating your own table in these different spaces anyway. Just do something different, you know.
Yes. Yeah. There's a segment of the alt football community that considers us a joke, a pretty significant segment from what I've seen. Okay.
That's fine.
That's fine. I mean,
and that's not even us coming at you, Freddie, at all. Like, it's just I've seen it. Like I've been an avid follower of all different types of football leagues. I don't know if people remember the United Football League that was like in the early. Okay, I remember it. I remember some of the teams, the Omaha Blackhawks and the Florida Tusks, like all these teams.
Oh, I like Tusks.
Oh, it was really cool.
I dig that.
Cool. You know, it was a pretty cool league. But I get it. It's like, you know, there's all these different experiments out there, but we're here to stay. I'm just keep saying that. We should get that on the show.
Here to stay. Here to stay.
Yeah.
Treyas13 said, I don't know why people like to write off non-football leagues. In my opinion, the more football, the better. Agreed. Hey, if you can consume it and you want to watch it, there's a sport there for you.
Yeah. If you want to play it.
Yeah. Speak of Tuskers. That's kind of sick.
It was hard.
Yeah.
And then the Las Vegas team with the Las Vegas Locos, like a locomotive. Ooh. Yeah, it was pretty.
4 Locos. Jay Gruden was their coach at one point. Wow. Yeah. Jay Gruden, who eventually would go on to, you know, squash the Washington football team.
Yep.
Ground it into a pulp. It would be really tough if my brother was a very successful NFL coach, right? And not only that, a personality to which nobody can really compete, right? There's only one John Gruden. So Jay Gruden coming in is like, if your brother was a chocolate bar and you came in and you were just like an apple peel, like it's tough. Like it's not.
Well, no, he should have probably gone to college.
Yeah, and stayed there.
Yeah, he probably should just go.
Right. I mean, it's like Tiger Woods' kid. Everybody in the world wants Charlie Woods to be Tiger Woods. Everybody does. I mean, his scores at junior tournaments go viral. People watch the PNC championship, the father-son, the mother-daughter, the mother-son, and like it's a family tournament in December. Everybody tunes in to see Charlie Woods play.
Yeah. Well, there's this theory on Twitter that Michael Jordan's a bad dad. Because you're now seeing all these basketball sons that are just popping up and balling out in AAU. They're like, what happened to Michael Jordan's son? Like Rajon Rondo's son is balling out. Carmelo Anthony's. We already see what Bronny and Bryce are about to do. What happened to Jordan's son? Like,
Marcus and Matt. Was it Marcus and it wasn't Michael Jr. There wasn't a Michael. It was Marcus Jordan and
that's the problem. I don't even know their names.
Yeah, I mean Jordan. I mean, you saw his Hall of Fame speech. He was like, it's got to be tough to be my kids. I'm like, yeah. If you are terrible at being a dad, it is.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. Freddie Amrell saying Jay is an Arena League Hall of Famer. I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, was that the Jacksonville, Freddie? Was it
Freddie?
Jacksonville?
Give us a story on Jay Gruden. Speaking of Freddie will be back on the show next week, as will today's guest, Jose Ruckus, coming in. The All-Star break is tonight, started yesterday or today, whatever. The Home Run Derby's tonight. I haven't watched a Home Run Derby live in God knows how long, but they keep changing the format and here's what you need to do in the Home Run Derby. This is my opinion. You know what? We'll save it. That's a tease in the industry, Leighton. We're going to save it for Jose Ruckus. I'm going to get his opinion on the home run derby, and then we can talk about it. Tampa Bay and Orlando. So he never left Florida. Yeah. It's Jay Spacely in the chat. What's up, Space? Great to see you. Good to be here on a Monday. All right, Leighton, let's get to our first topic. Jim is not here today, so watch this.
On point. Look at that.
Like that? And then I'm going to go, crap. This is so much. There we go. All right. First up, NBA Summer League starts. As much shit as we gave the NBA on the draft not being marketed well and kind of lame, and they need to do something different, the NBA Summer League markets the shit out of itself. It is awesome.
It is so good. It's so good. And I think my favorite part, we'll get to this, is the fact that the veterans come to watch. And they don't only just watch, like they're actually interacting with the rookies as well. Like the Hawks put out a pictures, Trae Young and our new guard, he's like actually giving him tips and pointers, like, hey, you should do this in the game. Like, I love it. I love the Summer League. This is, I almost wish it existed in other sports, like football.
Agreed. We were talking before the show. Could you imagine if OTAs were actually like a rookie league that was 7-on-7, and you took your draft picks and they played, right? And it could be a version of our flag football, right? Or, I mean, it could be tackle. I just don't think they want them getting hurt. The draft picks getting hurt in some sort of summer league. But if it was some sort of 7-on-7, fans call the plays, fan controlled, maybe it's our idea of like remember the laser tag idea we had where you wore the laser tag? And you touched them.
That's actually a good idea.
OVO Ghost saying Summer League being sponsored by 2K is slightly depressing, but overall great marking. Yeah. Why is that depressing, OVO Ghost?
Yeah. It's a great question.
Mewtwo rules. Let me get to that question a little bit. Let us talk about the Summer League, and then I'll get to it when we're done talking Summer League. I think it just has become this amazing thing in the summertime. People all flock to Vegas. There's parties everywhere. Summertime in Vegas, be it the hottest place on the planet, is still incredible. All the pools are popping off. And this Summer League has even more hype because of Victor Wembanyama.
Right.
And his first game, he looked
a little rough. A little rough. 9 points? Was it? It was
it was bad. It was bad. He was 2 for 11 from the field, so most of his points came off foul shots. 9 points, 8 rebounds, 5 blocks, 2 for 13 from the field. Yeah, not good.
And got dunked on.
Yeah,
and it was right after the whole Britney Spears thing too. So there was
yeah. Britney Spears just because watching him out there, he kind of looks like the grasshopper against the ants in A Bug's Life. You know that movie?
Love A Bug's Life.
Yeah. Like there's poor 6-foot guard. We don't know who he is coming up, and Victor Wembanyama just like, I'm as big as the 3-point line. Go ahead.
Right. It's like, what? Like it almost feels like whenever we talk about adding fan votes in basketball or like obstacles, it's like the fans vote for a random giant in the middle of the court. It's like, hey.
Where'd the giant come from? Holy shit. The first time you tune in, they're like, what does the giant do now? They're like, oh yeah, fans called in the giant. Like, what?
It's a power up. It's a power up. You should know this.
Or it's just one of those things outside the car dealerships like this.
Yeah.
But put it in the middle.
How did y'all get this on the court and nobody stopped you? Like y'all just
wait till you see some of the stuff I'm talking about trying to implement in fan controlled golf. Oh, baby. OVO Go says 2K makes the same game every year. LOL. No improvements.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah.
I listen, I don't play enough video games year after year to know. All I do know is
that's how my response was. That's a good point. Yeah. I don't play 2K as much.
But
I've seen the comments on social where they're actually really upset about these features. Even though we just had the new cover release that's amazing, but not much to expect.
I feel like Madden goes back to the drawing board every season, and they're like, hey, what if we did this? Yeah. And they add a little something here and there. FIFA, the same thing, right?
Yeah.
The new PGA Tour that EA released, the game, I can't tell you how much fun it is. It is awesome. They actually solved the problem of putting in video games.
Really?
In a golf game. Because it used to be impossible to putt. You couldn't do it. and they figured it out. They just figured it out. They don't let you crush the golf ball. They basically give you a speed zone to hit it in.
Oh, okay.
So you don't, because the old golden tee, you just couldn't do it. It was impossible. Freddie Emerson says it's just Josh on stilts. I'm the giant, and I've got long pool noodles for arms with hands at the end of them.
That was like a hawk came in and just just tore you into one. I mean, but then Wemby just turns it around last night.
Yes.
What, 27 points last night?
27-10, first. I love the ESPN stats department. They're like, hey, look how many Spurs have ever had a 25-10 game in the NBA Summer League. Go. And the poor stats kid's like, holy Jesus, how many NBA summer games do I have to go through to get I don't know where they find, if their search engine, it has to be Google on all of the steroids, like the McGuire good steroids.
So there has to be a magical search engine for every league. Because some of the stats that they bring up, I'm like, how did you find this out? You know what, Freddie? How do you find this out? he's the person that I asked.
The websites that some of these people run. Randomly one day I played golf in Los Angeles. I got paired up with a kid who ran the stats for the Toronto Raptors. He lived in LA, but he ran the stats for the Raptors. He didn't go to the games. He just watched them, and he every little stat, and he puts them into his algorithm. He's like, yeah, I just search up stats all day long, 10 hours a day. I just stat.
Wow.
That's Freddie Ermo, column filters. OVO Ghost, Madden and FIFA definitely overhauls the games. 2K charges you to update the rosters.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that sucks.
I mean, 2K seems pretty damn popular. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's got to be a lot of the interplay between. I don't know what the terminology is, but you get it. The live.
you get it. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me do it. You ready? You ready for it, Leighton? You ready?
Yep.
Is it? Oh wait, that's not it. Dang it. Wait, here we go. Boom, there we go. All right, we're moving on to Summer League, to the other thing that happens during the summer, and that's tennis.
Yeah.
But no sports else are on. ESPN's like, do you want to watch every tennis match ever?
Okay, here's my question. Why can't the announcers be more entertaining and loud for sports like tennis and golf?
Agreed.
Or have like a constant music playing, soft in the background of the broadcast.
Something.
Why not? Yeah,
I don't understand what cheering in tennis does that it doesn't do in other sports. In golf you're supposed to be quiet and it's fine, but the golf announcers are in booths so far away from the golf, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
A lot of times, Leighton, golf announcers are in Florida. Oh. That's where they go. Okay? And they're just watching the golf and commenting. So them being loud. Now, the on-course reporter, him going like, all right, he's got a 2-foot putt. It's going to be down to right. This is for everything. This is for all the marbles. Even then, he's boring. You got to give it some suspense. I can whisper hot, Leighton. You know what I mean? Here comes Leighton Batiste. He's sexy. He just got a new haircut. Let's see what he can do in the first hole. And he has shanked it out of bounds. It's one of the worst shots we've ever seen in the history of golf. Let's hear it for Leighton Batiste.
Yeah.
We should be able to do that.
The most exciting video I saw all weekend around tennis was them getting the course ready. That's it. That was really it. It was a really dope video. They had the lines, the painting. They were cutting the edges with scissors. That was the most exciting video I watched all weekend of tennis.
ASMR for tennis? Yes, I'll give it to you. I will say, and this goes into the Women's Open, the U.S. Women's Golf Open, that we will get to right after this. Yeah. But problem with tennis and the problem with golf on the women's side, at least, and the men's side in tennis, is we don't have an American superstar that is out there kicking butt. Yeah, we have Novak Djokovic, who's pretty much at the end of his career, and he could win. He could win all four this year because there's no competition that can get to him. And yes, it is awesome to have dominant figures in sports, I think.
Of course, yeah.
But for us, we don't have an American superstar in either sport.
No,
and
we don't.
And so when you tune in and you don't know who anybody is year after year, it's the one and done scenario. We talk about it all the time. It's why college basketball is so hard, because the one and done, you never get to learn the personalities in basketball anymore.
No. Mm-mm.
And you don't know if they're going to be good or not anymore, because a lot of times they come out and they aren't, And so, Jay Spacely, Wimbledon to me, listen, I think we could fan control tennis. Let's build the LED court for tennis, right?
Yeah.
Let's make it a little more lively. Let's bring the small rackets back. Let's bring those small rackets. I want that.
Small rackets. I think fans should be able to vote to implement a ball that when hit hard enough explodes into something. But the players don't know what's in the ball. And they can't quit the match. So now by the end of the match, one's covered in glitter and feathers. The other one's covered in Parmesan cheese and tomato paste. Like,
Parmesan.
Some messy tennis,
So basically, fans vote for an exploding ball at some point during the match.
Yeah.
And what else could fans vote for in tennis? So, like, you've got the exploding ball. They could vote for, like, a large racket. They could vote for a small racket. They could vote they have to use their left hand only. That whole game, they can only use their left hand. Lower the net, raise the net.
I was like, can you do a moving net?
Oh,
that's something?
I don't see why not. Move the net closer to one side. There you go, Jay Spacely. You could take away. They could use the whole court instead of like that area that's just for doubles. You could get rid of that. You could.
What if we say? So you know how like there's some battles that are right at the net. Like somehow they're just hitting it right at the net at one another. Yeah. What if we do a power where that's the only way you can play? Like you can't send it to the back of the court.
Get rid of it. So basically like doubles pickleball. Yeah. I mean, pickleball is becoming so much more popular than tennis because you can play it much later in life and it's a lot easier to learn because tennis is really fucking hard. It is hard.
Yeah.
And tennis, if you think golf is an insular community, try and like go and play tennis someday and just get
I'm not into it. No,
it's really hard.
Yeah, it's extremely hard.
Yeah.
I would love to see like a ultimate paddle athlete, I guess, like every paddle sport. So here's the tournament. You start off playing table tennis, then you got to get through pickleball, and then you got to do regular tennis. Like, is there an athlete that can play all of those and dominate? And can you create a tournament like that?
So it'd be ping pong, pickleball, tennis, paddle tennis, racquetball, squash.
All of them.
The ultimate.
It's like the Olympics of racket sports.
Yeah. What other? I think that's the only racket sports I can. There's beach paddleball, like the wooden paddle with the little rubber ball.
Yeah. I mean, there's now tennis baseball. We could throw that in there.
We could throw that in there as well.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I just, tennis, like a lot of sports, it just kind of rested on its laurels for a little too long and missed the boat. I mean, when Serena Williams was kind of at the end of her career and done with it, they were just like, well, this is it. We're over now.
Yeah.
And instead, I don't know. There's something to be said that when you have a superstar, it works in sports. And you need a superstar that's not only good, but kind of a badass on and off the court. And I'm sorry, but when you don't have that, you got to make somebody do it.
Yeah.
You as the league have to come and do it.
Yeah. Right? The NBA did it. They're like, hey, look, Michael Jordan's gone. Okay, love this Kobe era, but we need LeBron. Yeah, we need LeBron.
We're going to anoint you. Ruthless Cutie, maybe our laurels are a good place to rest. Ruthless?
That sounds like a great commercial for like a motel called Laurels. Like,
yeah.
A great place to rest. Laurels.
Shit, we just came up with a really good hotel chain.
Yeah, Laurels.
Ruthless, well done. Start our pitch deck for the Laurels hotel chain. Laurels, great place to rest. Really good. Oh, Ruthless Cutie, it's from Bring It On, LOL. Oh, really? Dang. Speaking of laurels, let's do 1 minute of me yelling golf at Leighton. Here we go. Hold on. Son of a, why can't I? You know what? Here we go. Now I know what. This is me yelling at Leighton for 1 minute about the U.S. Women's Open. Here at Pebble Beach, Leighton, I went on Saturday. I enjoyed some live golf. I will say that there is no worse. There's live golf and golf on TV is so different. It's the only sport where you can literally walk around all day and not see one golf shot if you don't want to. It is hard to watch golf live and in person. You can't get too close to the golfers. You can't make a lot of noise, but it was beautiful out there at Pebble Beach, and it was a great place for the women to finally get on Pebble Beach for a major championship. It's very, very important for the women's game. However, like most things, it was marketed poorly. We do not have an American woman star. We have a lot of great golfers, and we are waiting for Rose Zhang. This is supposed to be Rose Zhang's coronation. She was going to come out here. She already owns the course record, and instead she shot one over. Golf is the kind of sport where you cannot depend on your star to win every time unless it's Tiger Woods. And Tiger Woods ruined it for everybody because we don't know if there'll ever be another Tiger Woods. Jennifer Corpuz, USC standout from Hawaii, coming down 18 with a 3-shot lead. Did not get excited until she got the ball in the cup. She stuffed it on 18. She should have been screaming at the crowd, "Look at me! Who do you think you are? I am." But instead, she was stoic the whole way up. We need golfers and athletes and announcers yelling more. Congratulations, Jennifer Corpuz, on winning the U.S. Women's Open at Pebble Beach. And congratulations. We did golf broadcasting, and I want it on my shoulders. I want to revolutionize golf broadcasting, Leighton. I want to get in there. And you know who we want to get in here right now? The man, the myth. Yeah. Okay, last time it was a dead person's only delivery service. It was called DeadX. This time, all of the drivers are named Fred. We're calling it FredX.
FredX.
What do we think, Jose? What do we think?
Well, my name isn't Fred, so I can't work there.
Son of a beast. What about it's Superman's the thing that he can't see through. It's called LEDX.
LEDX?
You only deliver lead paint and leaded gasoline, both illegal.
Yeah, it's not a good business model.
Yeah, no, not at all. What's
on
your
after die, but okay.
Yeah. What do we got on the hat there, Jose Ruckus?
Oh, that's the golf club that I go to.
What's it called?
Wilcox Oaks.
Wilcox Oaks. Hold on.
Wilcox.
I got my I've only played there once, but I've got my Cypress Point Club hat. It's on in the background. Here, I'll keep it on. Well, Leighton, get a Topgolf hat on or something.
No, I don't have my Flat Creek hat.
Flat Creek? There you go. I got to come up and play Wilcox Oaks, Jose.
Yeah, you should, man. It's a pretty good course.
I love it. How are the hot dogs at the turn?
Decent.
Okay.
Decent.
Okay. All right. He's a tough critic, Leighton. He's a tough critic.
No, it's one of those things, and I know I'm walking myself into a rabbit hole here, but how many different ways can you make a hot dog to where it's like the hot dog's decent?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different things, like whether or not they're cooking the hot dog right there when you order it, right? Whether you're getting a steamed bun, whether they're going to grill the bun for you. There's a lot of different elements that can really knock it up a point or two.
You got to rizz the glizz, right?
Indeed.
That one's for you, Leighton. Got to rizz up that glizz up. You know what I mean?
I know what targeted.
Okay. Freddie Irmo, the delivery people only ride snowboards. ShredX. Not bad.
That one I like.
Not bad. Okay. Tonight, Jose, the Major League Baseball All-Star Games, All-Star break starts. We've got the home run derby this evening. What are the rules now in the home run derby? How does this work now?
I don't totally know all of them, to be honest. It's much more complicated than it used to be.
Right.
But it's like there's still like the head-to-head formats going on now. Okay. I think they're still doing that. Yeah, that's I show up and I watch him hit bombs. I'm not interested in the rules.
Okay, how do we just get us to 10? the guys that are leading the league in home runs, they get one round to hit as many as they want. The winner goes home. Why do we have all of these rounds? These guys are getting exhausted.
That's how I feel. Like, let's just get up there and hit bombs. Why do we got to make things complicated?
Agreed. Leighton, your thoughts?
No, y'all brought up a good one because I was going to make it even more complicated. I was going to say, why not have real pitchers and see how many home runs you can hit off some of the best pitchers in the league?
Jesus, yeah.
Or up-and-coming AAA top pitchers, I guess, because you don't want your guy expediting his Tommy John surgery. But,
No, that's actually a pretty decent idea. Bring on minor league guys to throw the balls. But still, you want the most home runs of all time. You don't want strikeouts in the Derby.
Yeah, I mean, it would be tough because if you get up the guy and he just can't get it going, and he only hits 10 home runs in the Derby, that's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Wait, so then do you create a strikeout Derby?
Oh.
A strikeout Derby?
That's lame, but hysterical.
I'd be great in that.
Yeah, me too. Awesome. Just awesome. Freddie Emerald says, because you can get more sponsors if you stretch it out to a couple hours. Freddie, you can still stretch it out a couple hours. It's not a problem. You put more guys in there just swinging the shit out of the baseball bat, give them 10 outs, and then, we got 12, 15 guys. The most home runs wins in one round. I don't need second and third rounds. Remember that Josh Hamilton round a few years back when he hit 30 and then he didn't win? You're like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year, Pete Alonso got knocked out pretty early too, and that was disappointing because he was back-to-back champion. So for him to kind of knocked out early kind of sucked.
Okay. So who wins tonight?
I'm going to be rooting for Julio Rodriguez.
Okay.
The Seattle guy in their home park. He was really good in the Derby last year. He's really young, entertaining to watch. I would love for that guy to win in his home park. I think that'd be a cool story.
I think they should just do the home run derby every year in Colorado. It doesn't matter where the All-Star break is. Just send them to Colorado. Thin air, put it up there. Have Liv Moods comment on it. All right, Jose, the Braves and Rays just played a 3-game series. Is this the World Series preview?
I'm going to go with no. So now that we're at the All-Star break, we can start having the real conversation, which is that none of the baseball that's been played so far actually matters.
Okay.
The next 2 months, the teams that heat up over in August, who's playing the best ball in August, those are the teams that we're going to really pay attention to for World Series contenders.
Okay. So this weekend of Braves Rays meant everything to Leighton.
Nothing.
It meant nothing.
I mean, it means something to Leighton,
No, I mean, because now I almost want to go to our game on Friday against the White Sox and just go to the stadium like, guys, nothing's meant anything until now. Now we have to care.
I mean, this is the time. And I mean, I expect both of these teams are going to be good coming off the All-Star break, but it's who really heats up, what pitchers really get going and stuff. That's what's really going to matter.
Got it. Okay. Which kind of leads us into, the next thing here is, should the Major League Baseball, like the NBA just unveiled, have an entire regular season trophy, which means something okay, let's just say you get the trophy, you win the regular season, you have the best record, you get a top 10 pick, no matter what happens. No matter where you are and whatever. I think they should be rewarded something besides a trophy. What do we think about that?
I'm very against the regular season trophies and whatnot, the in-season tournaments and stuff. There's one trophy that matters.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, he comes in hot, right?
Yeah. That's honest.
Dropping mics. He doesn't even want to entertain my question of draft picks and a regular season trophy.
To be honest, baseball is the last sport where it actually does feel like the regular season matters to somebody. Teams still hang the pennants when they win them. If you win your division, you actually care if you win your division. Nobody cares about. I can't even name the divisions in the NBA. Who cares?
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Very true. Okay. Which kind of led to Leighton's question of, do you think that NFL divisions should have winners? We should get something and the Steelers win the North instead of just a cool t-shirt.
That I would be much more on board with that. Like winning your division in football is like very difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know, there's some times where you win your division with a losing record, and maybe you shouldn't be rewarded for that. But yeah, like I think division still means something in the NFL to a bit, and I'm not sure what you can really do to give somebody a reward. But maybe a draft pick, like a second round pick, you get moved up if you win your division. That could be something.
Okay. I saw this weekend. This is that the Cubs won for the first time ever in Yankee Stadium this weekend.
Yeah.
Which, when you think about it, it's like, okay, they've never played in a World Series, right? So, and we didn't start interleague play until the 90s, right? So
yeah, when you actually look at it, they haven't played in Yankee Stadium all that many times.
Right. Okay. So, but do you still think it's pretty cool that happened?
I do think it's cool, especially because I think the Cubs are maybe starting to get something together. Like maybe this is the start of them kind of doing some good winning. So I think it's kind of interesting.
Okay.
It was a good headline for a quiet day too.
It was. You're right.
It is kind of mind blowing when you think of like those teams have been around forever, and for some reason the Cubs have never won in Yankee Stadium. That is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Okay, Jose, is Ellie De La Cruz like a flash in the pan? Say per se like a Yasiel Puig, or are we looking at the future of baseball? Because that stealing of second, third, and home was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah, he's the first player in like 50 years to steal 3 bases in one plate appearance. Pretty insane.
Yeah,
it's hard to say if he's really going to be a great generational player, right?
Okay.
There are many. Nothing's guaranteed in baseball, right? Like if you go back and look at 2019 when it's like Cody Bellinger and Christian Yelich won MVPs, and now they're like barely average baseball players right now.
So strange.
So, yeah, baseball's, but Ellie De La Cruz really does seem to be something special. Like when you look at just the way he's kind of been anchoring the Reds lately.
Yeah.
Like let's see. So when he got called up, they were 27-33, and now they've been 23-7 since he's been in the majors. So he has been really contributing to winning baseball so far. And so I'm inclined to think that this is like, I don't want to say like the second coming of like Reggie Jackson or anything, but this dude's really good. Yeah.
So is he like, compare him to somebody playing right now, if we were going to say like somebody that's been actually pretty steady for like, is he like a Manny Machado?
I would say like Mookie Betts, I think is a good comparison.
Okay. I see that. I mean, listen, he's made Cincinnati relevant, a team that hasn't been relevant in what, 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, it's just
4
been like
years?
Joey Votto there this whole time doing his thing and being really good, but the team's been bad. And now that they've got some really good young guys, and this potential superstar now, it's really cool.
I mean, I would love to have something like Ellie De La Cruz in Pittsburgh because listen, we just drafted that kid from LSU, Paul Houskins. But we keep drafting these awesome pitchers, and you never, like you said, baseball, you never know if they're going to pan out. And you've got to be a big fan, being that you're a mustachioed man like Skeens.
Yep. Yeah. I like that pick quite a bit. I think he's the best pitcher in that draft. So good grab.
Polar Knight says this. I love that this is perfect evolution of beard growth on this thing. The Leighton French painter into Jose into the full. Okay, yeah, good, great observation, Polar Knights. Great observation. Okay. What's been your biggest surprise of the first half of the season, Jose Ruckus?
I would say probably what's going on in Miami right now with the Marlins. This was a team that was potentially pretty promising going into this season because they had, the reigning Cy Young winner with Sandy Alcantara. They had, Jazz Chisholm coming off a really great year. He's the MLB The Show cover athlete. And then both these guys have been pretty bad this year. Wow. Sandy's been terrible, really. He's got like a 4.7 earned run average. Jazz has missed a good chunk of the year, but they've still managed to be one of the best teams in baseball. With mostly Luis Arias has been absolutely insane, potentially going to be the first player to finish the season with a 400 batting average since Ted Williams.
Wow.
I don't know if you've seen anything about this guy. It's been incredible. No. He's had 362 plate appearances this season. He's only struck out 19 times.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That is wild.
This dude is he's the fourth player since the 1900 to have 3 5-hit games in a season.
Whoa.
Yeah, he is seriously, he could hit 400 this season, and it would, like, for all the hype that there was about Aaron Judge setting a fake record last year, I don't know why this isn't being talked about way more.
Holy. Yeah, I mean, hitting 400 is insane, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's barely ever been done.
Right. I mean, what was the closest Tony Gwynn ever got was like 397, right?
Tony Gwynn was very, very close, and if it wasn't for that strike-shortened season, he might have hit 400. Yeah,
You're right. I remember that. Okay. Yeah. What was that, 96? 95, something like that?
96, I think, or maybe 94.
Okay, one of those. Yeah. I just looked up the least amount of strikeouts in a season is 1932 with 3. His name is something Sewell. Joe Sewell had 3 strikeouts in 1932. Also, just a heads up, we were in the middle of the Depression and right before World War II. So not really like comparable. Okay. But yeah, 1994. Thank you, Freddie Airmail, was the MLB strike. That is a wild stat. I'll be looking for that. Yeah, because it never gets mentioned on SportsCenter. The only thing that never gets mentioned is like Max Scherzer has a bad away ERA. The Yankees aren't playing that well. The Mets need to fire Buck Showalter. Like, to give us some other stuff.
If you're not in New York, you just don't get talked about. It's insane.
Sucks. All right, Jose, we got a couple more questions for you before we let you go. Is there a team that is like way back in the standings right now that could have a sneaky good second half that you could see making the playoffs?
If you'll indulge me for just a little bit, I think the San Francisco Giants have a real shot at having a good second half of the year.
I cede the floor to the man in blue and purple. Go ahead.
Obviously I'm a little biased here. I'm a huge Giants fan, but they've been pretty good this year. They're in third place in their division. It's a tough division with how good the Diamondbacks and Dodgers are right now. But I expect them to be buyers at the trade deadline because they're really going to be going all in to get Shohei Ohtani in free agency, and that's going to require them to put a winning baseball team together. So I expect the Giants to be throwing around a lot of cash and value and stuff during this deadline. And I think they could be a very good team coming out in the second half.
Classic Jose Homer. Doesn't take the bait to take my Pittsburgh Pirates. I respect you, sir. I respect you. Jose, is the pitch clock working? Is the pitch clock working?
Yes, it absolutely is working.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've got some stats here for you. The average time of a baseball game this season is 2 hours, 40 minutes. Shortest average time since 1984. From 2012 to 2022, the average time was at least 3 hours. So yeah, This thing's working.
That's awesome. I think golf needs to institute something. I do. I think
I agree.
I don't know how it looks like. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how it works yet. I think there's got to be some experimentation done for it. But I think that they could do some sort of clock, and it could get really interesting. It really could.
Yeah, I especially with the putting, some of these guys, like Bryson DeChambeau, takes so long to putt, man. Like, it's ridiculous.
The aim point is a real problem. I don't know who started the aim point. I got to do a little research on that. But the aim point on putting is getting out of control. Okay. Last couple of questions. Can Shohei Ohtani keep this up, and for how long? If you were going to
I assume when you're saying keep this up, you're saying be a top 5 hitter and a top 5 pitcher at the same time.
Yes.
Who knows? It's we just talked about Sandy Alcantara was a Cy Young winner last year. He's terrible this year. Justin Verlander, Cy Young winner, led the league in wins last year. Terrible this year. Right. Pitching, you don't have a decline. You have a cliff. So who knows? Wow. But as far as hitting goes, I expect Shohei to be a great hitter for the next 10 years.
Okay. All right. It's always just every time I turn on baseball stuff, I'm like, what did Shohei do? I mean, that guy's moves the needle. He moves the needle.
He's great.
We'll leave you. No, we got 3 more to go. What's the most overrated hot dog topping?
Overrated. I love the Chicago dog, but all the stuff they're putting on it, man, little overrated.
Okay.
Too much.
It's
good, but it's not as good as everybody says it is.
You know what? There's always relish at the stands, but I think relish can really be underrated with its usage in a dog. I do.
Yes.
I like relish, especially if you're mixing your relish and your mustard together. You get some very, very good.
Talk about it. Should you be able to bring Yetis into stadiums to keep your beer cold?
So I'm of two minds with this. One, I think you should be drinking your beer fast enough to where it doesn't get hot. But also, I'm in California. It's ridiculously hot here. So yeah, maybe let us have some Yetis.
Yeah, I think so. Like, okay, you purchase your San Francisco 49ers Yeti at the beginning of the season. Now, granted, they're going to charge you through the nose, but you can only have the sponsored Yeti. It's 20 ounces and each refilled because you're being responsible. You're saving the environment one beer at a time. Okay. You might get a couple dollars off your beer every time you drink the Yeti, and they mark it, or you have a little coupon code. Every like 40 beers you get a free beer in your Yeti. I think we're doing a lot of things. If we went to do this at the stands, and then in like a really hot sunny day, like at a Chavez Ravine or in San Diego, your beer's not getting super warm.
It's tough out here, man. These summers they're getting bad. So
I know.
You gotta do something.
Global warming and beer, it's tough. And then finally, what team has surprised you with their shittiness thus far in the season?
I'd say the Cardinals. What happened to the Cardinals, man?
The Cardinal way, Jose.
69 last year. They won their division last year. They were really good. This year they're in last place in a bad division.
Unacceptable. The Cardinal way is just straight to the cliff that Jose was mentioning before. It's a cliff. It's a cliff. I got to give a shout out to our buddy Jay Spacely. I've had about 300 plus plate appearances this year and haven't struck out once. Had to take a couple walks because of the meals, but still, pretty good joke. It's a pretty good joke, Jay Spacely. I'm going to give you that one. And Ruthless Cutie saying a Pirate's favorite letter isn't R, it's L. Wow, that cuts deep. And my Pirates started off so hot, and now what are we in third place in that division, Jose?
Yep.
Yeah. Gross. Just another losing season. We're going to take Paul Skeens. He's going to have a good minor league career, bring him up for a season, sell him to the Yankees. Everybody's going to buy his jersey. They're going to sell him to a team. It sucks. Thanks, Freddie. We're in fourth, apparently. Great. Just what you love to hear. Next week, Jose, huge month coming up in the sports. U.S. Women's World Cup. You're going to come on, preview a little bit of Women's World Cup for us.
Absolutely, man. Can't wait to do that.
Oh man, I saw last night we beat the Welsh 2-0. Just before we get to next week, do our girls have it? Do they have it?
It's tough, man. We've been racked with injuries this season, so we're really gonna need the younger players to really step up this time.
All right, that's a tease, Jose. Wait, how about this one? It's only yeast and barley. It's bread-X. It's a sourdough only. It's bread-X.
Bread-X? That one I kind of like. I like bread.
Only bread, Leighton. Only bread. Love you, Jose.
Later, guys.
See you, buddy. You knew I was waiting for that one to the end.
I should have just taken the whole piss break. I knew that joke was coming. I should have sprinted out of it. Okay.
All right. We got a couple more. Let's do it. You ready for this? Here, let's see if Josh can do it. Nope, I missed it again. Here we go.
Back to work.
All right. So yesterday, Leighton, here's the thing. I have an amazing wife. I'm a very lucky guy. She always buys things without telling me, and usually I have to put them together. Now, I am really good at procrastinating, and I refuse to put them together right away. So my wife starts unboxing and then gets really frustrated and messes up, and then that's when I have to take over.
Yeah.
Hence, yesterday we bought a piece, like an easel for Rosie to like draw and paint on outside in the summertime. And Amanda botched it immediately right out of the gates. And then Rosie started playing with all the parts and she lost the screw and I had to find the screw. And I said, we take this over. So here's what I'm saying. Let's have some fan controlled IKEA furniture building in the future. Let's just go live and see what happens. We throw away the directions and they just tell us what we have to do next. Does that work? This is a bad idea.
I can see if the broadcast is entertaining, then yes.
Yeah.
Fans especially if because then the question is how many people don't know how to actually build furniture.
Mm-hmm.
So the votes are going to be funny.
Like, and you get like what, 2 hours? You get 2 hours and they're voting, and whatever happens to your furniture, whatever it looks like at the end, then we see who wins.
Yeah. Do we put up a graphic of the actual instructions? Or does the broadcast only have the instructions and we're able to tell fans like, oh, you made the wrong idea?
So basically we set right? Your camera's on the screws and the
Mhm.
like the little plastic pieces, all the wood pieces. And then the fans are just like, hey, you don't have the directions. Josh doesn't have the directions. What should he start doing? Like, take the big thing, and we have them vote on like what we should do first. I think that goes into there. And then, or what?
Each contestant should also introduce themselves. Like, it should come off like a game. Like, hey,
Yeah.
my name is sorry, I'm gonna use Jessica. Hey, my name is Jessica. I am, I work for the post office. Basically, like, tell me everything that lets me know you don't build furniture.
Thank you. Freddie Ermo says, sounds like an HVAC competition I saw on TV once. I think that's right. Yeah.
Why were you watching that competition?
It sounds amazing. I'd watch it. OVO Ghost says, bad idea, lots of rage. No, that's the point. I think
at some point, someone's gonna get their gasoline thing, pour it on the furniture, light the match, and now we're just watching 2 hours of furniture burn.
Or is that the reward? Is that you get the 2 hours, you get to wherever you are in the furniture, and then if whatever is at the end is left, if it looks good, then you can keep it. If not, we just throw it in the burn pile, and you get to watch the furniture melt and burn.
Yeah, but then you've got the person who's gonna hammer one thing in and then sit in their chair with their new Yeti and beer thing that they get from the ballpark. And they're gonna run out the time and light their stuff on fire.
Is you have 2 hours and there's a burning wick coming closer and closer to your furniture. And it'll catch you on fire if you don't finish it in time. And the fans are like, you got to use that screw. Use that screw.
Want to know something funny that happened on TikTok?
Yeah.
This family was barbecuing. It was 4th of July. And when the dad stepped away from the grill, the kids came in and hid firecrackers under the coals. He didn't know. So he lights the grill and all the adults are talking and then the fireworks just go off. It made me think of that. Like, man,
that's funny. That is funny. Okay. Those kids are maniacs, but that's hysterical. I'm gonna give you that. Yeah. All right. And finally, Leighton, you finished Succession. Back to work.
Yeah. Okay. Like I almost got a Waystar Royco t-shirt. Like, that's how excited. Yeah.
I will say
Waystar Royco Sports and Entertainment. Like, like that kind of stuff. Like,
I agree.
I was a huge fan.
Now, of all the people that I recommend shows to, you watch it the fastest. I'm like, Leighton, you should watch this. You're like, oh, I'm already 5 episodes in. I'm like, I told you 20 minutes ago.
We binged hard. Yeah.
Without giving away spoilers, I guess. Where are you ranking this? Where would you put this in, okay, out of 10, give me a 10. 1 out of 10. Where are you giving this?
Like the series, compared to other, or its ranking as a show?
Yes.
I want to give it a 10, but I'm gonna be a 9. Just so I don't come off as
What is a 10 in your book? Like, what's a 10 show?
What is the show that was a 10 for me? Like Snowfall was a 10 for me.
Wow, Snowfall on FX.
Yeah, like
I only watched the first 2 seasons, and then I kind of fell off. Fell off.
Oh, okay.
It just finished, right? It was the final season?
Yeah.
How did it end? Should I go back and watch? Like, should I catch up?
I still gotta finish it. So how about that? But the show was a 10. Like, I was really into it. Loved it. Okay. What was another 10 for me? Friday Night Lights was a 10 for me.
Well, that's a 10 show. That's a 10 show.
Yeah, that series was just great.
Yeah.
I don't know, but Succession was just so great. And I think what I loved about it was it kept you guessing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching it with someone, it would lead you to say, oh yeah, this is happening next. And you would try to predict it. What I loved about it was they didn't give you any typical tropes, right? Like there was no good guy to root for. Everybody was essentially bad. It was almost kind of like House of Cards. Like House of Cards didn't really give you a person to root for.
Not at all.
No. So yeah, I loved it. Like it was, and they were jerks. I mean, they were just
everybody.
There wasn't a single nice person in that show.
No. And I like that Logan Roy never really had, he sort of had a moment with his kids, near the end, but he never really, he didn't want a redemption. He didn't need a redemption. There wasn't. You know.
Actually, now I think about my favorite. Ooh, would this be a spoiler if I talk about
Who do you think won? Go ahead. Who do you think won?
Oh, I think Shiv won.
Shiv won. Okay.
Shiv won.
Okay. In my opinion, I think Roman won.
You think so?
Yeah. You know why? Because he didn't really care. He didn't. He's going to get his money. I think he was forced into caring by Kendall and a little bit by Shiv, but really he didn't care. He didn't want to care. All he ever wanted was his dad's approval, and he never really got it, and he sort of got it, right?
Well, but he also felt like he creatively knew what to do.
Yeah.
With the company, but didn't get that shot. Like, the reason why I say he lost because he ends up losing everything in the end. That's why I think he lost. Like when you think about where his values were, he lost it all.
I mean, if you give an arc to a character like Greg the Egg, he never really won or lost. He kind of just stayed where he was, right?
Yeah, he was just.
Tom Wamsgams really may have been the biggest winner in the whole thing, but is he kind of a loser because he's in love with a woman that doesn't really love him and will never be lovable?
Especially when he admits that he actually loves her, because you almost get a feeling that he only loved her because of her family, and he's like, "No, I actually love you." And it's like, "Oh, darn, yeah."
She's just an unlovable person.
Yeah,
she cannot. It's a beautiful show. I'm so glad that it only went 4 seasons. To be honest with you, I don't think I could have gone through another season of that.
No, and I don't think I want a spin-off either.
No,
I think it's good where it is. Like,
it's they could have, with all of the buildup, they could have gone Game of Thronesy and really kind of burned everything to the ground, literally and figuratively, but they didn't. And I really appreciate that. I don't know what the writers were thinking in Game of Thrones because, boy, oh boy,
I've started it. I can't. It's hard. I don't see what is the tip to like getting through Game of Thrones? Like, how did you do it?
You've never finished the whole show?
Do you understand? I've watched episode 1, and then I hung out with my friends one time. This is like when the last season premiered, and I ended up hanging out with them when the finale premiered. So I already know how it ends. I know nothing about it. I was
okay. You really have to pay attention. That's how I say you have to get through it. You really have to pay attention. You have to remember people's names, and if you have questions about things, like call me. I guess I always had questions, and I would call my buddy who read the books. I don't know how people read the books, to be honest with you. They are so thick. But it's going back on it. Had I known how it ended, I don't know if I would have been as excited about watching it. But it deserved. I mean, you get to the red wedding, get to there's some amazing episodes in that show, filled with an ending that just felt like, I don't know. It's really hard to compare to anything. I would say, you and your family were decided to go on a road trip all the way across the country. And then you got to the Grand Canyon and it was flooded. And then you got to California and it had fallen into the earth. And you just we're like, oh, we don't get to end our road trip. It sucks. And then your car caught on fire and your family started fighting and nobody ever talked to each other again.
You're not selling this well for me right now.
No, I'm not.
Not at all.
It hurts. It really hurts.
I think I'm gonna just double down on Wu-Tang. I'm watching really good.
Is that a good one? I watched the documentary and I started the scripted show. I got to get into it. It's Hulu, right?
Yeah, Hulu. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
It's good. So I'm on season 2 right now. So.
All right, Dick.
All
right, Leighton. This is back to work. We're here every single Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Josh Macuga at Josh Macuga. Leighton, where can the good people find you?
At Fan Control Lay on Instagram.
What do we got coming out on social media this week? We got anything fun?
So I'm going to focus on the home run derby tonight.
Okay.
And then let's talk about the All-Star. Let's just talk about it this week. So look forward to that. There's more like random stuff to post.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Send us some stuff. Leighton and I are working on some behind the scenes stuff as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And the Fan Controlled Show goes live this Thursday, 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern.
gotta cut you off here. Yes, fans, if there's something you find interesting or funny, DM it to us. We'll repost it.
Please.
We will.
Yeah.
If y'all see some things that are just like, wow, I check this out, send it to us. We'll repost it.
Yeah.
And we'll tag
it. And even if you want to do something stupid or silly, send it to us.
Yeah.
We want to see it.
Yeah.
Maybe it goes viral. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe people make fun of you. Maybe they don't. That's the internet.
That's the fun part about it all.
That it is. For Leighton Batiste, I'm Josh Macuga. I'm going to put this end card up, and we will see you next Monday. Until then, get back to work.
Thank you, fans, for watching Back to Work with Leighton Batiste and Josh Macuga on the fan-controlled sports and entertainment YouTube channel. If you liked this video, you can check out other videos right here. You can subscribe to the channel, tell all your friends, hit like buttons across all the videos, check out all of our shorts and live shows, and as always, power to the fans.